Hi, Gene Burnett from GeneBurnett.com. Here today with another one of my little metaphors, little mental tricks, little ideas to hold in your head to maybe be helpful in terms of just having that balance, that Tai Chi body, that sense of yin and yang, both in play, both ready to manifest themselves if needed. A lot of people are very, very into the yin. A lot of people are very, very into the yang. And Tai Chi, in my mind, is about the synthesis of reconciliation of polar opposites into a dynamic conversation, a dynamic balance. And so yang is just as important as yin. Agility is just as important as stability. Form is just as important as flow. Yang is just as important as yin. You know, it's a balance thing. And this is a way just to hold that. I notice as I get more strength and as some of my students get more strength, some of them are pretty strong guys, and when we go to do pushing hands or partnered martial art kind of movement things, sometimes I would notice that their strength was really in play, and it wasn't that the strength was necessarily bad. All successful martial artists are strong, all of them. It's that I could read what he was doing and what he was about to do really clearly, since it was transmitted through this outer shell of tension. And so I noticed that in myself as well, and I started to come up with this idea of, I think of like a mossy wall. Like picture a hard brick wall with a couple of inches of moss on it. And so you press against that moss and you feel this softness and this giving feeling, this like, oh, this is nice, I could lay down on this. And if you push hard enough, you cross that distance and all of a sudden you hit the wall. It's kind of like an organic shock absorber. I mean, think about if you were playing baseball and you were running to catch a fly ball and you crashed into a wall. Would you rather crash into a mossy wall, or would you rather just crash into the bricks? So I'll take the moss, right? So that mossy wall is like a feeling of softness around the musculature in the body. It comes from springiness in the knees. It comes from looseness in the shoulders and relaxation in the waist. It comes from looseness in the joints that approach whatever the contact point is, so that when someone pushes, they feel this little bit of give there. There's a little bit of give, but if they keep pushing, the coils of the shock absorber are going to get closer, the moss is going to get compressed, and they're going to encounter something much firmer. But in that give zone, in that zone where you feel kind of hard and kind of soft, and they can't quite feel exactly where you are, in that zone you can learn about their momentum, and you can hide your momentum or ideas, or at least theoretically that would be the zone to hide in, and that would be the zone to read in. If you're tight, you can't read as well. Just imagine trying to read Braille with a really tight hand, or feel something sensitive. The tighter you are, the harder it is to read things. Whereas when you're soft, if you're too soft, it's hard to, you have to get up out of a hammock in order to act. So in that zone in between, it's where you learn about what they're doing and where you can hide a little bit of what you're doing. So think of a mossy wall when you practice. It's also a good way to think of, each joint in our bodies has a rotational zone that's pretty good, that's in its circle of power or in its circle of strength. So instead of being form dogmatic and thinking that the form exists and this is precise arrangement of joints and muscles and stuff, that's nice. It's good beginner work, but if your parting horse's mane is only this particular and exact position, it'll only work against a very specific and exact, partner or moment. Instead, if you think, well, there's a zone for the hand, there's a zone for the elbow, there's a zone for the shoulders. So it's almost like if you magnified me by 3 times and then shrunk me, it's like in that zone, those things are all in play, and that movement is correct in my book. It's a zone of correctness. It means that the relationships are basically there and I'm able to respond and move. I've got that mossy wall feeling, not wall. The first thing they hit is wall, not marshmallow, so everything just collapses under pressure. But the mossy wall, a firm interior, but that soft edge, so that pressure causes a little bit of movement where I can learn and also where I can redirect, where I can hide. So that idea, or you could think of a mossy robot, like you're like Star Trek, robot, what's his name, Data or whatever, or is that Star Trek? I get them all mixed up. So anyway, one of those robots, but covered in moss. So there's this givey, soft quality around the edges. Watch a boxer like Muhammad Ali, who was very good at soft on the outside, condensed and hard on the inside. Even Mike Tyson in his prime, you see so much movement and flow in his body. It's just it's a more condensed softness, but he's not just hard. No way. There's a balance there. So anyway, just a thought, like a little metaphorical mental trick that can help you hone in on that unforced, balanced state of Tai Chi where your body is ready to make the corrections that are needed to keep itself healthy and safe and in balance. Thanks for watching. I appreciate that. If you like this kind of thing and you want to give me a little tip, I got donation tip jars on the description of this video and all over my website, GeneBurnett.com. But if you want to just leave me a nice comment, tell me something was useful, I always appreciate it. Or just take it in and let it affect you or not. That's okay. That's what most of us do. We don't know where these ripples go that we put out. They just go out there. But either way, my main motivation here is to be helpful, and I hope I have been. Good luck with your practice, and thanks for watching.